Hello everyone, welcome to the ServiceNow Pilots podcast, and today we're going to talk about a very important topic because congratulations to all of you who have just implemented the ServiceNow platform within your organization, but please remember that this is not the end of your journey, this is not the end of your road. According to the best practices, it is recommended to develop and upgrade your instance. And today we're going to talk about the maintenance. And we have my guest today, Milena. Hello, how are you today?
Hello, Marcel. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm totally fine, so thank you for asking.
That's great. If you could just simply introduce yourself to our listeners and viewers out there before we can jump into the main topic.
Yeah, of course. So my name is Milena Szklarska-Behlke. I am the head of the delivery team in Spock, so I am the engineering manager, one of the four of them. My team specializes in providing support services, but also in implementing the various projects for the different products of the ServiceNow. So if we are talking about myself, I am responsible at Spock for the onboarding phase. I'm taking care also for the customer satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
And also I'm helping the customers in meeting their needs related to the trainings, related to the maybe consulting in the different products, also in the process modeling.
Wow, that's a huge responsibility on your side. And as you mentioned, your background roots from the maintenance itself. And if you could just tell us, what do you mean by maintenance of the ServiceNow platform? What do you consider the main activities related to that topic?
Yeah, definitely maintenance. It's a quite important topic. And of course, if we are talking about the maintenance of ServiceNow platform, we are talking mainly about the support services. Support means that we are taking care of the incidents on the platform. So, for example, any system breakdowns that occur on the platform related to the, for example, performance. We are talking here also about the changes, because we need to remember that ServiceNow platform has own a continuous life cycle. So we need to develop our platform. We need to add additional features on the platform. So that's why we think of the change management process. We think of the smaller changes, bigger enhancements for the platform and the products that are available on it, definitely. And also, if we are talking about maintenance or support for the ServiceNow platform, we are also talking about the upgrades coordination. Upgrades, of course, are quite complex processes. They are quite long and they require quite long preparation on the supplier side or on the customer side, or both of them. So that's why, of course, maintenance still it's a quite very important topic if we are talking not only about buying ServiceNow platform itself, but also if we are talking about developing itself in a, I would say, wider perspective.
And what do you mean by that wider perspective? I mean, why it is so important to fully develop and to fully understand the ServiceNow platform rather than just, implementing the tool and use it on a daily basis? Why do you think it is so important to think more in the future and to develop this tool that you have in your organization?
Yeah, definitely. Of course, ServiceNow platform gives great potential, I would say. So we got the various types of the products that are available on the platform. We can automate lots of the things. So we can move ourselves from the moment when we are acting in bureaucracy to the ways of automation directly on the ServiceNow platform. We got lots of the products that we can use, for example. From the CMDB and discovery, for example, to the complex ways of reporting with performance analytics also. So that's why I think that it's not the art in staying at the same place, I would say. So we need to not only think of the maybe bigger projects. If we are talking about ServiceNow platform, building new things, of course, it's quite important. But on a daily basis, we need to add, I would say, more additional things to our ServiceNow platform that will make our work easier on a daily basis. So that's why I think that it's a great point to, of course, invest the time and invest the potential budget in support services, and maybe invest some time and some budget also in smaller implementations on the ServiceNow platform.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, the more time you are focusing on the maintenance part, rather than just simply developing future enhancement and new capabilities, the easier it would be for the end users to use the platform, and it will be more quickly without any disturbance on the platform itself. And the following question to that from my side, apart from the typical ticket resolving and activities related to that, how can I be aware of the maintenance of the platform? Imagine I'm a CEO of a company that has just implemented the IT service management tool. What activities should I take on a daily basis, or what habits should I have to be fully aware of my platform, and how can I conduct that maintenance?
Yeah, it's a quite difficult question. So the answer, I would say that it's not very easy, because of course we need to take care of the incidents on the platform. We need to take care of the changes implementation. So smaller enhancements to, I would say, free the ServiceNow potential if we plan to use this tool very widely. But we need to also consider the performance of the ServiceNow platform. So we got lots of the tools that are available on the market, lots of the services that can be used. And I think that it's quite important to perform, for example, health scan from the ServiceNow or health check by Spoke on a regular basis to know what is the current performance of the platform, to know, of course, what potential gaps we see and how we can fix them. And also, according to the plan that is prepared in the very beginning, we can identify, for example, the gaps or pain points, pain aspects of the platform, and we can definitely easily fix them for the future. So that's why I think that it's quite important, if we are talking about maintenance of the ServiceNow platform, to take care of the regularity. And of course, we mean the regularity of the upgrades. We mean also the regularity of the clones. Mm-hmm. We mean also the regularity of instance reviews, and also taking care of the instance performance with these additional services, as I mentioned before.
Okay. And you mentioned many times regularity. Of course, it depends from the organization of the complexity of the instance. But from your own experience, do you have any recommendations? What do you mean by regularity, or how often should I look into my instance to sleep better, actually?
Yeah, I think that, for example, if we are talking about performance of the ServiceNow platform, we need to observe it on a daily basis. So the user's perspective and users' perspective that are working on the platform directly, it's a very important, I would say. So based on the observations, of course, we can take many actions like reviewing the logs or reviewing slow scripts that will help us to identify pain points on the platform, definitely. If we are talking about the services that are performed in a regular way on the instance, for example, we are performing health scan or health check for our customers maybe once per year or twice per year. So it depends on the needs on the customer side. But also it's closely related to the ServiceNow platform complexity. So of course we are talking here about the volume of the scripts, for example, how many the scripts are implemented on the instance, what is their complexity, what is the complexity of the mechanisms that are there, for example, how many of them is there, how many complex reports do we have on the platform. So I think that all of these aspects should be taken into account. If we are talking about upgrades, for example, because it's also quite important topic for our customers, I would say that it depends on the contract, and also it depends on the needs of the customer, definitely. Mainly for our customers, we are performing one upgrade per year, and definitely it's closely related to the fact that upgrade it's not a very simple process. So,
what do you mean by that? How the upgrade process look like nowadays? Because we are at the time when we have the Vancouver release already. How, from your perspective, from your experience, the process of upgrading my instance may look like, or how can I be prepared for that as a platform owner, for example?
yeah, so definitely, as I mentioned before, it's a quite long process, I would say. So, of course, as a supplier, for example, as Spock, we are trying to reduce the time that it's needed for an upgrade. But definitely, it's of course quite important to keep the good quality during the upgrade process and reduce the impact on the ServiceNow environment and the ServiceNow users. So, of course, what should be taken into account when we are talking about upgrades? Of course, we are talking here about the proper fixing process related to the bugs that.
Okay, Milena, I believe also that upgrades are a very important topic, and I believe you can carry on this part later. For now, I'd like to come back to the maintenance and development part, especially when it comes to the question, how can I do it actually? What resources do I need? Because we can think of a team, we can think of one person who will be maybe within my organization, and it would be a partner. Doesn't matter actually. What matters is capabilities and the activities that are going to be processed within my instance. But from your perspective, what are the recommendations or maybe advantages and disadvantages between those two or maybe more types of maintaining my platform? As I mentioned, I was simply thinking of the support team, the whole team that will keep my platform up and running for the whole time. But also from the cost-effective perspective, let's say that if that's applicable, I was just simply think of the one person who would just maintenance and provide minor enhancements to my platform. From your perspective, from your experience, what are the recommendations for me as a potential CEO?
Yeah, it's a very important and hard question, because definitely sometimes the dedicated resource that will be involved in the customer team can be an option, can be a good option, definitely. So it depends on the needs and on the budget that it's available on the customer side. We need to remember that if we are involving one dedicated resource in the customer team, there is some kind of risk to keep the knowledge in this one person. Mm-hmm. So we need to ask ourselves what we should do when this person will be, for example, on the sick leave, or will be on any different type of the leave. So if we are talking about the fast and quick delivery of the incident solution, changes implementation that are important on the customer side, definitely the shared team that performs support services can be a good option. Because right now, definitely, of course, we can share the knowledge within this shared team. So it's not accumulated within the one person, within this one resource. So we can talk there about the also fast and quick delivery, that it's that it's done, I would say, really, really fast, because right now within the contracts, we got also the service level agreements. So it's not a point, it's not an issue, I think, that the customer is not secured somehow. For example, that dedicated resource is somehow better than for example the shared team, because shared team, okay, they are not the dedicated resources, but definitely they are responsible for its job, for its daily work, and definitely we got defined response SLAs, resolution SLAs based on the priorities and so on. So that's why I think that there is no risk, for example, for the maintenance contracts to involve this type of shared resources, if we are talking about it. Definitely, of course, if we are talking about the maintenance team, support team on the any supplier side, we got, I think, the wider skill set that it's available. So if the customer has any additional needs related to the products, related to the platform enhancements, I think that it's more accessible to get this knowledge about the different types of the features, different types of the platforms from the shared team, where of course the people have the different types of the skills within this team. They are specialized in different areas of the ServiceNow. So that's why I think that it can be also beneficial and useful for the customer. And yeah, I think that that's all in this aspect.
Okay, so the SLAs is somehow security or the obligation of your team or the partners team to conduct such activities on your platform. But yeah, I believe that the context of the knowledge exchange within the team is very important, because within the team you can have juniors who are less experienced but maybe have the fresh knowledge from the just when they just got the certificate, for example, or something like that. And you have also more experienced people who can share their knowledge and the tricks from previous project and engagement. And I believe this is very important. And when it comes to the new customers, new people, and new organizations that are coming to the let's call it the world of ServiceNow, when would be the right time to think of the maintenance? Because let's imagine that we have a customer who are just entering or just before entering the world of ServiceNow. They don't have a product yet. So when it comes to the budgeting period, when it comes to the thinking of the future of my tool, of my organization, of the digital transformation, when would it be the best time to think of the maintenance and development of the platform?
Yeah, definitely. I would say that from the very, very beginning. So sometimes I would say that customers think of it too late. Because, for example, after bigger implementations of the platform, bigger projects that are implemented and deployed there. But I think that the customers need to think of the potential maintenance support services even before buying a platform. So it's an obvious thing that, of course, a platform has some kind of continuous life cycle. So, of course, this instance will be, I would say, generating itself some kind of incidents due to the patching, hotfixing, upgrades. So sometimes they can occur. Incidents can also occur due to the additional implementations, of course. It's an obvious thing that that customer and the suppliers try to definitely reduce the impact on the users and the environment, but sometimes, of course, it can occur. For example, let's imagine when the performance is lower than on a daily basis. So it's quite different, it's lower, and the end users can observe them. Let's imagine the case when, for example, mails queue will be temporarily blocked, so the mails will be stuck on the queue. So it can be a sample of the incident on the platform. But also, let's imagine that definitely if we are talking about ServiceNow product, ServiceNow system, I would say we will be talking about new products. We will be talking about new features that can be implemented and deployed on the platform. Of course, if we would like to use this tool effectively within our organization. So that's why, of course, we have mentioned also about bigger and smaller enhancements. It's quite important to provide end users, I would say, the smaller aspects that will make their work easier. So that's why the support services will be here more effective than, for example, doing the project, because projects means, I would say, bigger deployment on the platform. For example, adding new bigger thing to the current tool or to the current process. But of course, if we are talking about smaller enhancements, adding new fields, for example, that will be useful. Adding new reports that will allow managers to use the platform quite effectively, for example, and check the team's progress. If we are talking about additional notifications that will notify the users, they are really small enhancements, but really helpful in the work. So that's why let's not think about the support maintenance services after a few years of keeping the ServiceNow platform, but in the very beginning of the process, even before buying the platform. Let's talk, I would say, like in the chess game. So, for example, two moves before the next person. So that's why from the very beginning, let's think about the support services and the maintenance.
Okay, that's very interesting, especially when you mention the difference between minor changes and the big ones, because I believe some people, or from the experiences I heard from the developers, every change from the customer perspective is a minor change. So that's great that you mentioned the differentiation between those parts. And coming back to the upgrades, which you mentioned as one of the main topics related to the maintaining platform, because ServiceNow platform is evolving, especially this year when they combine themselves with NVIDIA for generative AI, and the artificial intelligence topic is almost everywhere. So if you could maybe foresee the future of the ServiceNow platform, would you recommend that in the several years those upgrades should be done more often to keep up with those rapid changes around the world?
I would say that it's very hard to tell about any recommendation here. So it's very hard to provide the direction that will be adjusted to the every customer, for example, that uses the ServiceNow. Because as I mentioned before, of course, it depends on the, I would say, organization of the customer. If it's related to the banking, for example, maybe it's widely recommended to do it, for example, twice per year. But definitely, I would say it depends on the customer expectations, customer needs. It depends on the time that we plan to allocate during the year for the upgrades, because sometimes the customers definitely would like to use the new products, the new things that are implemented, that are available in the market version of the ServiceNow platform. And that's why maybe it would be beneficial for the customer definitely to for example, make the upgrades twice per year. But definitely it requires some time, also on supplier side, also on the customer side. It requires planning. We are recommending also to do the freeze during the upgrade process. So of course it freezes the change management process projects for some time, of course, excluding the urgent things that should be implemented on the instance. So definitely it requires decision on the customer side. If I see something that it's quite important for me in this new market release, if I would plan to invest some time and some kind of budget in upgrading the platform, because during the upgrade, we need to make some kind of preparation. If we are talking about timeline, if we are talking about preparing clones, also, it's also very important step. If we are talking about reviewing skipped records during the upgrade process, fixing the bugs, testing the platform, performing UATs on the customer side, and of course, making the deployment of the fixes after the upgrade of the production platform, after upgrade the production instance, yeah? So it's really hard to, I would say, predict the future. It's really hard to give the one recommendation for all of the customers that are available.
I believe it is very difficult to give one recommendation when the platform itself is very complex and can be tailored to the needs of the particular organization. So I just wanted to know your opinion about the future of those rapid changes, and thank you for that. And also thank you for the for your explanation and sharing with us the knowledge about maintenance and development, which is as important as the implementation of the tool itself. And I believe our listeners now can have the vision or maybe inspired by this episode to think of it. Before we end this episode, I would like to ask you one more thing. This is the last question I'd like to ask to all of my guests, because each and every of my guests has different prior experience with the ServiceNow platform, and I'm very excited to hear all the opinions about the platform itself. So, what do you like the most about the platform, and why did you end up actually in this environment?
So there are lots of the things that I really like in the ServiceNow, but I also see the limitations of the platform, I would like to say. So developers will agree probably with me. Definitely one of the things that it's quite important for me and for our users, it's a flexibility, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So flexibility of the platform means that we can build really fantastic things on the ServiceNow. For example, we can mix lots of the scripts, lots of the business logic flows, of course, with the service portal, with complex reporting, with performance analytics. We got the great tools for CMDB, recovery. We got the really great other products like HRSD, for example, that can really change the organizations. So I would say that we are smoothly going to the second point, so availability of the products on the ServiceNow platform. So we got lots of the products that are available for the customers. Of course, they are requiring some kind of configuration, customization, so supplier can do it, definitely. But definitely they are great itself. So they are proposing the great value for the customers, especially if we are talking about the possible centralization of the systems. So if customers uses many of the different systems and multiplicate the costs, for example, we can use ServiceNow for all of this purpose because it offers the really wide range of the product. So I would say that it's quite important for me, flexibility and available of the product.
Oh wow, yeah. Okay, so thank you for that. And yeah, we're going to go to the end of this episode. And to our listeners out there, to our ServiceNow pilots, if you have any questions related to the maintenance part, the support services, or the development of your platform, please reach out to us via comment below or any other social media that we have. And to you, I hope you had fun here, and I hope you join us in the next episodes to share your experience.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, I am really willing to do it. So thank you very much. Thank you to our listeners. I hope you will enjoy it.
And see you in the next episode.